this goddamn slow moving Delhi traffic, because of which I thought I'll make a quick little video, because otherwise I'm not able to get the time, right? Between work, between clients, between a couple of family commitments. It's literally been a nightmare the past couple of days. I cannot complain. The only nightmare is I'm not able to make more videos, which is a lot of fun, which has been a lot of fun the past couple of days. But anyways, this is one thing which I know if I don't talk about in the next, say, 1 or 2 days, I will forget about it, because it's a very, very nuanced point. And I'm gonna call this video, he almost got bail for his client, but he got carried away and lost. So what happened yesterday was I was appearing for the wife in an anticipatory bail filed by the husband before the Sessions Court in one of the Delhi district courts. Now this was one of the, I think the second or the third hearing where there were attempts at mediation, which was opposed to by the wife first, but then after counsel, after some advice, the wife agreed to mediation. However, at that point of time, on the hearing yesterday, the husband's lawyer got a little cocky and said that no, I'd rather just argue it out. So he went through the entire, the complaint which was filed by the wife. He tried to make his submissions, and because of the fact that the wife and me, her lawyer, were ready to give an attempt at mediation, we, after the arguments concluded, where we were helped a lot by the public prosecutor as well. This was one of those days where, I kind of took a step back and I let the PP take charge, because, especially when you're arguing a matter, and I've seen it sometimes, right? You have to kind of read the situation. If the judge is a little more inclined to listen to the PP, of course, who is kind of his comrade in the courtroom, because he is, talking to the PP every single day, 50 times a day. In fact, I know public prosecutors who are very, very good friends with judges and who give me a lot of insights into how their particular judge, where they are posted, the mind of that judge works. So in this particular situation, the PP took a little better charge, and after all the arguments were concluded, the judge said, what about mediation? Because the judge was in two minds. The judge was not sure whether to grant bail or not. And at that point of time, the lawyer for the husband said, we will go for mediation, we have no problem, but at least give me interim protection. And at that point of time, the public prosecutor as well as me said that because the husband has not joined any investigation at the CAW cell, which is the Crimes Against Women cell, or at the police station, and at a very, very belated stage now moves his anticipatory bail application, he is not entitled to the relief, the extraordinary, as they call it, relief of anticipatory bail under section 438 of the Criminal Procedure Code. But because of the fact that we had a very strong incentive to try and settle the matter, to achieve the goal of either a harmonious unity again back between the husband and the wife, or for the wife to be able to peacefully collect all the pieces of her cracked life, very, very sad story, but I don't want to get into that, and to be able to move on with her life, we were attempting at a mediation. However, we did not want the husband to enter the mediation room with this haughty demeanor, saying that I still got interim protection despite not appearing anywhere, not trying to evade the process of law for several months. And that is why and I said it first, I said to the judge that I have no difficulty if the investigating officer who is present over here and the learned public prosecutor state that they will not arrest the husband until the next date of hearing. Nothing comes on the order sheet, but this is a standard practice which is adopted by the bench and the bar since time immemorial, that even in an anticipatory bail application where interim protection is not really made out, the court gives the other alternative, which is the court asks the public prosecutor, okay, bhai, do you wish to, is it okay if I take your word, just your word, nothing on the order sheet, that you will not arrest till the next date of hearing. And the public prosecutor obliges, because he has to face that judge every single day for several weeks, months, or maybe even years. And this is a kind of a bench bar relation that is an unspoken rule. And that is why I also said that I have no difficulty in this kind of a situation if the learned public prosecutor as well as the investigating officer say that they will not arrest the accused person, the applicant, the husband, until the next date of hearing. And until then, we can perhaps attend mediation. Now, at this point of time, the husband should have taken the offer. The husband's lawyer should have taken, the husband was not there, of course, because he was afraid of arrest. The husband should have taken the offer that the public prosecutor and I were so willingly there to offer. However, the lawyer gets too, as I said, cocky. And the lawyer says, no, you want to have the threat of arrest hanging over my head when I appear before the mediation cell. And then after that, I take a step back and let the public prosecutor and the lawyer for the husband go at it for about 3 to 4 minutes, where the PP says, I have no difficulty, why are you making a big issue out of it? And the lawyer for the husband keeps reiterating that in his 30 years at the bar, his 30 years of practice, he has never seen a situation like this where, whatever has happened at the instance of the wife. And so, where there was a possibility, where the parties could have gone into mediation, where the husband himself was quite eager to cover up a lot of his antics and have his wife forgive him for some very, very concrete proof that she had against him in terms of the offenses he had committed against her, his lawyer kept harping on the fact that he wanted interim protection. And all of a sudden, in the middle of arguments about whether interim protection should be given or not, or whether mediation should happen or not, all of a sudden the judge looks up from the file, says, all right, order reserved. And at that point of time, every party just packed up their files and moved out of the court. And when my client asks me all of a sudden what happened, is there going to be mediation now? Is there going to be interim protection? I said the judge just abruptly closed up everything and said orders reserved. Which means in all probability, I cannot be 100% sure, but in all probability, this means that the judge will dismiss the bail application. Why? Because here the judge, if he would have been inclined to grant bail, he would have at least sent the parties for mediation for any sort of, settlement talks if possible. However, all of a sudden in the middle of this, the judge has done this. In all probability, the judge was irked. The judge was angry at the fact that the counsel for the applicant would not take a good offer that was being given to him, and therefore reserved the matter for orders. We waited for about 8 hours, and about 4:30 or 5 p.m. we get a copy of the order, in which in a detailed 6 or 7 page order, the learned sessions judge dismisses the anticipatory bail application of the husband. Now again, another point on this is, the wife asks me, what happens if bail is given? I say nothing. We will approach the Honorable High Court against the grant of bail. And she says, what if bail is dismissed? Will he have to go into custody? Will he have to go to jail? Will we be able to recover the cash and the jewelry that he has taken from me? I say not really, because he is not going to come anywhere near the investigating officer till the time his anticipatory bail application before the Delhi High Court is filed and some sort of interim protection is given, or whatever be the case, he will take it to the High Court if the anticipatory bail application is dismissed. But the one lesson that we can perhaps learn from this little debacle is that when you're getting a decent offer, don't get too greedy and try to take it all. Instead, try to be tactful about it and structure your arguments in such a way that, sure, you try your best for the best possible relief, but if you cannot, you take the decent offer which is coming your way. And even at that point of time, after the judge said orders reserved, if the counsel would have said, my lord, I apologize, it was a gracious offer, my lord may kindly grant us an adjournment without protection, the judge would have obliged. But yes, stuff like this happens. I sound a little boastful about the whole scenario. I felt the pain for the husband's lawyer because I have been in his shoes on several more occasions where I have had the Sessions Court reject my anticipatory bail, and then I was only able to get the relief from the High Court, and on a couple of occasions I had to get the relief from the Supreme Court of India. So good days, bad days. Don't use your phone while driving, folks.